I'm Riley Harvey for V Cycling News, and we are live with the Heroica series. We've got 7 minutes left to go now. Until the guys set off up the Stelvio, Passo del Stelvio, and it's sure to be an interesting and challenging race for the guys. Wouter Claes I can see there on the starting lineup, and Schwank. Let's see, I thought we'd see Timo Wackenbach and see Ian Hurst on this race, and Ben Lilburn. Where Timo Wackenbach is there, B. Harara cranking out 7 watts per kilogram. I see Francois there as well. Heroica, long history in RGT, myself and Francois, competing against each other. Although pretty much me competing against Francois just having a bit of fun and not realising that I was competing against him. But yeah. 5 minutes 52 seconds left to go, and these guys are looking forward to the switchbacks of the Stelvio, which is being featured not only in this race but also in the PRT handicap race this week, so it seems to be a Stelvio week. You can see from profile at the bottom of the picture there, the Stelvio is a somewhat unforgiving beast. No wonder it's got an iconic status in the cycling world. Just continues to go up. Recently it's been populated with a few more trees than it was previously in previous incarnations of RGT. We are going to be going off in 4.5 minutes and continuing upwards. Average gradient is 8.1%, although it does fluctuate in sections, and total elevation is 1,114 meters. I just see Christophe Contant in the rider list there, and Christophe is one of the riders that Francois has pinned as one to watch for this race. He's a lighter rider, I think he's around about 64 kilos, but he has a phenomenal power output, so expect to see him going off the front and just keeping it going. He doesn't have much of a doesn't have much of a top end. He doesn't have much variation in his power, but he can put down good solid power and keep it going. Just seeing there as well, we've got Ross Collins in there. Ross did some of the commentary with me on the RGT Tour series. Ross, great guy, good to listen to. I had a cold one day, well, I'm still suffering from the cold that I had then, and it was good to get Ross in, and he covered the commentary for me as a newbie. He pretty much covered the entire hour of the race, and did really well. I will attempt to fill that gap at full hour, keep you entertained. A few more riders just entering into the race now. It's always a good idea to spin your wheels as soon as you get into the ride. Just spin your wheels, just check that all your sensors are connected and everything's running right. Gives you a chance if you need to just pop out and back in again. And Ross has been off the bike. I'm not entirely sure why, but He's been off the bike, and this is one of his first races back. He's not intending to challenge for the win, but he's already given some shouts out for a gruppetto to form. Not even off the start line yet. And there we see Timo Ackenbach and Heroica, TFC, who were both in the Borrego endurance ride. And they were just doing their warm-up over there, keeping the guys company. I don't know if anybody who's watching this is aware, but there's a Borrego 24-hour endurance ride going on at the moment. There are Rob Stone, April Riegler and Jim Lawyer, who are all attempting to go for the full 24-hour ride. I have no doubt there are some others in there who are going to be hitting the 24-hour target. But if you have some time, head over to the YouTube channel. I'll be covering it after this. And if you've got some legs on you, why not jump in? It's free to join. We had the Borrego course with a little bit of help from RGT. Well, a little bit of help, a lot of help from RGT. They moved the Borrego course into the free section for us so that as many people could take part in that event as was possible. You didn't need to be a paid member to take part in it, and it's really good to see that RGT are helpful in doing things like that. They're a really approachable company. We're just getting warmed up now. Give me a frog in my throat. Just getting warmed up now, 25 seconds left to go, and we'll see how much of an explosive start this race has. As Francois giving the signal there, start your engines. Most of the races in RGT do have quite explosive starts, but this, I think, may be a slightly more muted start. People realising that it's a long way to go and a long hill. You're unlikely, even if you go full gas from the start, you're unlikely to be winning this race with that effort. See that beautiful mountain pass in the distance there. So we have got up on the front of this race at the moment, Francois lighting it up straight from the line there. Desvert coming past him. Wood Clay's not too far back in this group. Francois is just up and back slightly. Three of the Moon Riders together there. Wood Clay's riding wearing the gold jersey. He's winning this series currently. And we'll have a look at the tables in a moment. And Christophe Contant, 6 watts per kilogram from the line. Is it going to be enough to break the spirit of the Moon Riders as Francois puts in an effort, 6.3 watts per kilogram, comes up to the wheel of Christophe Contant. Little wave. He takes the lead on this race. Christophe sits in. Drafting is one of the big things that makes RGT different from the other platforms in the virtual world, and it's how accurate the drafting is and how reliable it is in a way, in that the riders here are actually experiencing as close to possible the draft that they would be experiencing on the real road. But more than that, some of the platforms use like a fuzzy logic because they don't know exactly where the riders are on the road. They sort of do a little bit of guesstimation, and they work out roughly where the riders are, and then they offer up that as a basis for where the drafting should be worked out from. Now, we're following Christophe Contant here. He's in the lead. We drop back behind him. We can see Isathor there, and he's saving 2 watts off the wheel of Christophe Contant. 2 watts, not very much. In an uphill battle, leading from the front doesn't really do you any harm. So if Christophe is capable of doing this, all he's doing is he is offering up a wheel for people to chase, but he's not giving them any advantage. They're not sitting in on his wheel and thinking, oh, you know what, I'm saving loads of power here. They're just having to fight for every millimetre of tarmac as if they haven't got any draft at all. There's a thought there, and in the effort to try and keep Christoph in contact with this group. Christoph just keeps on applying that pressure. Fantastically rendered world, this one. And as time's gone by, RGT have gone back to several of the roads that they've made and improved upon them and increased the level of detail as they've gone along. And previously, I don't think I'm wrong in saying that you wouldn't have seen the trees in the distance as far away as we can see them now. And we may see Christoph disappearing into those trees very soon. He's opened up a gap of 30 meters now. As I thought, this will be one of his home roads. Well, possibly not his actual home roads, but Italian rider, Italian course. He'll want to win this if it's at all possible. Francois is dropping back a little bit. He's got 16 meters on his store there. We come up to the leaderboard section, the time section on this course. There are a number of segments that have been added into the worlds, the RGT real roads. We played a trailer at the beginning of this for Virtue Slow event that's going to be happening just after Christmas, around New Year time. And oh, we see Francois putting an effort there and reeling back in. As I thought, close that gap down from 16 meters down to 6. Perhaps it was just a momentary gear change mistake there from Mrs. Thor. Francois has been followed there by Rapper. Jay Stevens, another of the Moon Riders, not too far down the road. Christoph opened a gap up here of 70 meters. Back and enjoying these views now. We'll jump up to Christoph for a moment. Christoph all alone here. Enjoying the ride. He comes around that bend. You can see the gap now. Looking over that barrier and down to the road below. You can just see the riders there coming through. A visual gap of 80 meters there. We're going to drop back on the road to see who else is in the ride. Give people a name check, see if there's any battles going further down the road. Here's a thought here, and then shortly behind him we've got Francois. He's just been overtaken by Rapper there. The Rapper's just passed over Francois Heroica there. Francois not quite giving up on that a little bit there. Getting a bit more effort in. It's a little bit of a grouping here. We got Jay Stevens, Timo Ackenbach, Woods of Clace. That's Matt Hammond. So you see Woods there wearing the gold jersey. This is an 8 of 12 series. So it's a 12 race series. You only have to count 8 of your races from this series. This could possibly, unless Wooter cranks out a good second half of this race, this could be a race that Wooter decides that he's not going to count. See Ben Milburn there, L. Simons, going around that hairpin. Heroica from the Friday Crits Club there. Lamont. Lamont here now, coming around this bend. Pushing out 4.3 watts per kilogram. Smitharoo. Here to spurt. Chased down by Herrera here. Herrera's closing that gap. Be careful with your matches and not burn them too early on in this race. Going to be seeing the wheels in front of you and chasing them down. Burning those matches at the same time. You've got to be a little bit wary about where you use your energy. And there we go, G-Svank wearing the OTR kit. It's fifth. Mostly followed by Cook. Zargo far behind them. And we've got /Shane. And then Ross. Ian Hurst a little bit further down. Ian has been riding many times for the BRT handicap race, and the last couple of weeks he's really had some flying weeks, been really successful in that race. Gianni, May, Good Lorette, another one of the Moon Riders. Chalka. We got Vite. 7th position. Stelvio is the highest paved mountain pass in the Alps. We'll go back up to the front of the race in a moment, just see how commanding a lead Christophe Contan has managed to maintain. And the Portuguese rider Rapa is gradually, I say he's gradually, he's managed to pass Isathor and Aika. Aika's dropping back slightly on the pace. Isathor is managing to seem to hold fairly steady pace there. With Christophe Contan, he's putting out 5.2 watts per kilogram, riding solidly. That's this little section with the Maison. Chateau. Chalet. And Rapper there, just battling out for second place. I think this is going to be the battle on the road that we're going to watch later on, guys. It looks like Christophe, from what I know of him as a rider, this is a road that plays to his strengths, and he's opened up a considerable gap here, and it's looking like he's going to continue doing that. Isathor and Rapper there are battling out a little bit here. Drop back to Francois Aika now. He's going to be getting close to Wouter Place. We see the group there of Place, back in Stevens. Simon's in that group as well, just closing in on Francois Heroica. Had an electric start to this race, went off at the front. Massive amounts of power and looking like he might have been ripping this race apart from the very beginning, and then just slightly eased off the pace. Just waiting for his teammates to come back to him. Say waiting, he's still riding away. Look like they're going to close in that gap. I'm going to head over to RGTDB, which is a fantastic community resource for all things RGT and all things result based. There's Francois, he's just caught there now by his group. To place, and it's John Stevens, his teammates catching up with him. We are in the Heroica Series Europe, and have a look at the classifications. Gold jersey. Right, in the gold jersey we've got Wouter Claes, who's on 560 points and he's wearing the jersey currently. Followed by Robert Lyons, who's only on 555 points. There's only 5 points separating these two guys. I don't think I've seen Lyons racing tonight, so it may be that he's in a different time slot. And then we have Christophe Contant, who is in third position with 510 points. So this could be a big deal for Christophe here. Well enough for win, and he would be able then to drop one of his weaker performances possibly towards the end of the series, and could maybe make a real difference to who wins this series overall. Alright, switch over to the silver jersey, and we're looking in the silver jersey. We've got I don't think any of the riders for the silver jersey are on the course tonight. We've got, oh dude, tell a lie, we've got Lorenzo Simons there, currently sitting in 7th position, and he's winning the silver jersey currently, and he's battling it down against Daniel Magalhaes and Stefan Audette. Stefan Audette has already raced this. Daniel Magalhaes has raced this course, and he looks like he came in around about 5th position. Isator is also challenging in this competition as well. Isator has been looking like he's enjoying this course, riding well so far. He's up in 3rd position. There'll be good points for him if he carries on with that. Francois is down in 9th position. Francois Heroica, he has missed an event currently, so and all switch around with this possibility to drop some of the events for you. You don't really want to have a record showing. Mountain jersey classification. Robert Lyons is winning that one. MH, and then Christophe Contant. And Christophe Contant's in 4th position for that one, but it looks like he's missed one of the. Oh no, he's in 4th position. This is one of the stages they'll count towards the mountain jersey classification. So if he wins, as is currently looking like it, he'll go into 1st position in the mountain jersey classification. green sprint jersey currently being won by Woods Place. No surprises. In that group there in 5th position as well. Christoph Contant's in there as well, but I don't think there'll be a competition that Christoph will be targeting. Zador there in 3rd position. Just trying to stay in contention with the rapper there. Not wanting to get too far behind. Oh, Rapper is had a momentary power outage there. I'm not sure what happened. Briefly lost his power, but he's pushing now. He realised the danger there, and as soon as his power came back on, he jumped on the power to get out and to make sure that Isadora doesn't close that gap. We've got Ross Collins there. He's asking if there's any snow further at the mountain, guys, or is it all clear? He's obviously not pushing hard enough if he can chat. It's good to see Ross back on the platform, back racing regularly. As I say, Ross did some commentary with us not too long ago, and that was on the Moon Riders tour. And what the Moon Riders did then was they picked horses from near where all of the Moon Riders lived, and they did a week-long tour. It was 5 races. Sorry, 6 races, and then it was a 4 of 6 series, that one. So again, similar in the way that this race series works, is that quite often you're unable to attend every single race. It's just not possible. Things happen, life happens, work happens. It's impossible to attend every single race, but this gives you the flexibility to miss a race or two and still be contending for the overall win. And that series came right down to the line. It was the last race and the last few minutes of the race that dictated who won the overall series, the GC on that one. Just up with Christoph here. He's pushing out 320 watts, 316 watts. Around this hairpin, it amps up a little bit as you go around that hairpin, up to 9.1% now, and then starts easing off as we go a bit further down this section. The total average is 8.1%, but you find that it creeps up into the corners and then decreases again coming out. So again we're just rising up now, 10.2%, 12% as we're coming through this hairpin, maxing out now 20.5% briefly as you went round the very tightest, worst section of the hairpin that you can, pushing hard. Out onto this latter section, just eases back again. Those changes in gradient are really challenging for the rider and lead you to needing to change gear or just interrupt your tempo and lead you to perhaps blowing up sooner than you'd intend to. Going back up again on the gradient now, 13.2%. It's a good view of just the hairpins in the distance there. Can't see any other riders on them. looking down off the mountaintop there. I don't know if you can see any other avatars floating past. Might just be too far away to be picking out the avatars at the moment. There's a great view down the mountain. Christoph rounds another hairpin, edging ever so slightly closer to the end of this race. We're going to drop that now and see Rapper and Isathor, see where the challenge is there. Rapper coming through in second position at the moment, pushing out 4.6 watts per kilogram. He did have a power outage briefly before. Don't know whether that was dropping a water bottle, throwing a chain, all sorts of reasons for it. Could be technical. But since he dropped that power out there, he doesn't seem to have suffered anymore. Isathor is 114 meters behind, but he is in sight. So Rapper will be able to see Isathor as he's going around that hairpin and looking down. Isathor will probably be able to see Rapper there as well. Yeah, interesting to see whether these guys are saving their energy for later on in the race, whether they're doing this very much at their own pace or within themselves, and they're going to be able to push out extra power as the race goes on and then overhaul some of the guys that are perhaps in front of them and have burned matches too early on. We see Woods there. He's broken free of the group that he was with. Timo Akin back there, slightly further back on the road in 5th position. Then Gael Simons, Lorenzo Simons and Stevens just further back in 7th position. Francois just been distanced a little bit more, so it's dropped back into 8th. Woods will be interested in getting himself, well, as everybody will be, that want to get the best position that you can in all of these races. Stelvio certainly a challenging one. Around that hairpin, chased by Simons. Lorenzo Simons just challenging for the silver category. The riders racing in different categories now. They are Francois asking in the chat there, when do you drink? I'm not sure quite who that's directed towards. Simon's racing for the silver category. And Ross Collins saying, I'll bring up the bottles from the team car. If you can close that distance, Ross, I would love to see it. Francois just overtaking Stevens there. Moon Riders, identified by that quite classic white jersey with the green and yellow stripes on it, not from Woods Clace, who is of course wearing gold currently in this event. Now we've got Matt Hammond there. He's got on his tail Ben Lilburn. Then we've got Heroica, not too far behind them. Ben Lilburn wearing the riding from New Zealand. There's Ewan Lamont in 12th position. Pushing out a good steady 4 watts per kilogram there. Nice power coming out this climb. don't know whether it's just me, but it does look like the scenery there is becoming a little bit more ominous, a little darker. There's a storm coming in. The Stelvio. Lamont's being chased down by Herrera, who's playing at 4.3 watts per kilogram now. I don't know if that's just coming through that hairpin. Just came through that tight hairpin now, which goes up to around about 20 degrees. Foot. Smitheroo behind him. Swirt 3.3 watts per kilogram. Smitheroo pushing out 4.7 there. You can see the Swirt in front of him and he is trying to chase him down. Desperately looking to close that place up. He's come around this hairpin and he's caught up to him. Got up and decided that he's going to sit with him, I think. Eased up on the power. Covering a little bit of energy there. As I was saying before, in these mountain stages, you don't gain too much by drafting. You know, these lower speeds and this elevation. We're doing 9 kilometers per hour now, these riders. So they're not gaining an awful amount. I think it's around about 15 kilometers per hour, basically, when you have any significant drafting benefit. They come through that really tight hairpin. Smitheroo just taking the lead there. Swirt may have been in a better gear as he's coming back at Smitheroo. Francois turned me off to go to Spotify. That's disgraceful, Francois. Be expecting double my fee if you're not even listening. Istwith in 16th position. Sagiani down in 17th now. And then we see Ian Hurst just looking like he's going to be overtaken by Shane as we come round this tight hairpin. Ian putting a little bit of effort in. You can see the danger from Shane closing him down. It is an 11.5 degree slope at this point. Out the saddle, Ian pushing on. Shane just being relentless now, coming over the top of Ian Hurst and fighting on. Hey Ian, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you out racing. Fantastic work rate for me, and he's out racing on RGT all the time. We'll see him on the roads, no doubt. See Ross there in 20th position. He's not doing too bad considering he was shouting for the gruppetto whenever he was on the start line. And he's past Marcin Skudlorak there. Back in 21st position. It's fun. 22nd. 3.1 watts per kilogram. May looking like they may have had a technical, or they may have just had enough. It is a challenging course, this one. Now it's gone down to 0. Yeah. They're looking like they've possibly given a knife, dropped a chain. And a gear change coming around the hairpin there as the power's changed. Gonzago, 24th position now. Jalka, 25th, just cruising along now. Pushing out 3.2 watts per kilogram. And it looks like Gutte has stopped right in there, 2.6 kilometers further down the climb. Gonzago may have paused for a moment on that hairpin himself. Plank, Skudlorak, Ross Collins, Ian Hurst again, coming around that very tight hairpin. Gradient getting more painful as you go around. As I say, it's rated at 8.1, the Stelvio. but it is a bit of a beast in the way that it changes the tempo on you. You get these different hairpins, and then even on the straighter sections, the road in between, the gradients are not consistent. Shane's not been able to open up too much of a gap on Ian Hurst there. He's still not comfortable in the 18th position. He's just eased up slightly there, and Ian's closing that distance to his wheel, not letting him get away. There's a little bit of cat and mouse between these two riders now. Gradient once again tips up to around about 14%. The rider's slow. Trying to decide whether to muscle it out over this small change in gradient or whether they need to change gear. Further up the road to Ystwyth. There's a big gap between Sergio and Ystwyth there. Smithereau and Swert there, still battling. Herrera pushing out 4.3 watts per kilogram to try and get to the wheel of Ewan here. So if you watch the table up in the top left hand corner, you'll see the drafting advantage that Herrera gets if he gets to the wheel of Le Mans. It's just let Le Mans open the gap back up a little bit again. Around this little hairpin, push the power down. Herrera comes up onto the wheel of Le Mans. Le Mans, and hello, and then no drafting advantage there for Herrera at all. No benefit. Having to push out 3.6 watts per kilogram, 3.8 there, just to try and close in on Le Mans' wheel. Head further up this road. And we need to head back up to the leaders. They're not going to have too much further to go on this race now. Christophe Contant now. We can see avatars dotted about on this road in the distance behind us. It's Christophe Contant comes around this hairpin onto this flatter section of road. Gradient's dropping down to around about the mentioned 8.1. It's at 8.5 at the moment, and we can just see in the distance there avatars starting to materialize out of the ether, and that's Rapper there further down on the course. You can just see him. He's 361 meters behind. And we can see another couple of avatars further down this mountainside. And then that other one might have been Isathor. Christophe Contant continues plowing on. It's basically been an individual time trial for Christophe here. His heart rate up at 163, pretty consistent. He's in his yellow power bar, just a little bit above his FTP. Continuing to crank out these watts. The weather seems to have brightened a little bit as we've got higher up the hill. The mountain. See the snow-covered peaks in the distance. Christophe just putting a little bit of an effort there as the gradient changed. 2.9 kilometers left to race. Back down the valley, see avatars very much in the distance. They must be about 5 or 6 kilometers away on that other section of road down there, blinking in and out as we carry on towards this summit. These tight sections of hairpins. As I mentioned to all those who are interested, the Another event that we're covering today is the Borrego 24-hour event, and after we finish the coverage of the Moon Riders race, we'll be switching back over after a couple of minutes to the endurance event, catching back up with the progress of Rob Stone, Jim Lawyer and April Riegler to see how many kilometers they've managed to cover, and to see how everyone else is getting on. Just a quick one on that event. You are welcome to join at any point over today, tomorrow. If you want to, there's no requirement for you to cycle any particular distance. Your efforts on the road, you'll be welcome there, just giving company to riders that are out there. But back to the race in question. Look down the valley, we can see all those hairpins, those laissés that we've conquered. Christoph in the first one up there. Battling away, 2.3 kilometers left to go. Drop back now, a few minutes left. You can see Rapper in the distance there. Rapper with still 2.6 kilometers left. It's unlikely he's going to be able to close down the 330 meters to Christoph unless Christoph does have an issue. We're nearing the end of the 48 hairpin bends now. Zathor looking like he's going to get a good position on this race. Yeah, pushing out 4.5 watts per kilogram there. Into place, fourth position. It's a good solid performance from him. A rider that tends to like something with a bit more of a change in tempo, tends to be a bit more effective on a change in tempo. Ruta racing in the Echelon Racing League as well at the moment. On the weekends, if you're bored, there's some excellent coverage on the Echelon Racing League Facebook page. A number of the guys from RGT have been picked up by teams and are now racing in the professional races on the Echelon Racing League. Team Wackenbach in 5th position. 2.5 kilometers left of this race to go for him. Stevens, Heroica, Enzo Simons, Hammond fly back up to the front of this race, and we just catch a fantastic picture there of Christoph Contant with his store in the distance, and just in front of his store you can just pick out the form of Rapper, who is the closest rider to Christoph Contant, but I don't think he's in contention for the win as we have only 1.7 kilometers left to go. 962 meters, 1,117 climbed. Now another rider there on the hairpin below. Going around, continuing the effort. Looked like another Moon Rider as well. Christoph Contant rides for the Pedaler team, and they're a French team. They have members from all over the world and very successful. They've done well in the team time trial events. As we just come past that crushing corner there, goes up to 17%, very aggressive hairpin. Christoph Hayden's dropped down there. He's just muscling through, just powering that same gear down to 70 cadence, and he's brought it back up again as he gets back on top of the gear, and the gradient drops down to only 4.8 now briefly, and then flies back up to the 7% mark. Rapper there in the distance, and on that road below, just going to be coming up to that hairpin as well. We'll just drop back to Rapper and see how he goes with this hairpin. We've just seen it conquered by Christophe Contant, and he's got a fairly low cadence here. Rapper is 79, 82. Christophe Contant on the other hand is up at the 90s for most of this section. I personally do tend to ride at a lower cadence on the mountain roads. You just turn into this corner and boom. Oh, he's not affected his cadence hardly at all there. He must have got the gear change just right. He's got through it, pushing on. 4.5 watts per kilogram. It's the Tour just behind there. Some of the riders listening to the commentary in the background as they're making their way around this race. Perhaps some of them are taking a little clue from myself. So we come this Tour there. It's 17%. His cadence dropping down slightly. Gear change. Back up. Pushing on. 5.5 watts per kilogram. He's crushing it now. Looking forward to a good position on this race. Trying to push himself up the tables. Way to place comes through that section as well. Out of the saddle, pushing hard. Heart rate of 171. Fly back up to Christophe Contant now. Conscious of the fact that I don't want to miss Christophe crossing the line. He's got 830 meters left of this race to go, and looking confident that barring any issues he will be winning this race. See Rapper on the slopes below, and he's looking like a fairly clear 1-2 on this race at the moment, but Isator is not that far behind Rapper, but I would say he's unlikely to close that distance with the gap that we've got left. 1,038 meters climbed. Road like a snake down the mountainside. Seen in its full glory in this view. Christophe comes again down with those punishing hairpins. We're down to number 4 now. Number 3. Look ahead now. Number 2. See if Christophe has got anything left in the tank for a sprint for the line. Coming now with 430 meters left to go. And he's pushing out, still 4 watts per kilogram. See there in the distance, last of the hairpins. Sign there. Struggling to read. Round hairpin number 1. And hopefully we can see there in the distance the finish line. 160 meters left to go. Christophe pushing out 4.8 watts per kilogram, 5.7. Power topping 400 watts. Comes now to a confident victory on this race. Heart rate of 168. See just how far behind. Let's see Rapper there in the distance. As Christophe comes through, finishes the race. Victory in just over 47 minutes 20, something like that. See Rapper now, he's had a good race. 2's coming up to this last hairpin. If you are enjoying any of the coverage that you've seen on V-Cycling News, whether it be on the YouTube or the Facebook channel, and we really do appreciate your support, and one of the ways you can support the channel is by liking, subscribing, and if you do see any of the events that you think might be of interest to your friends, if you can hit that share button as well and share them around to your friends, whether it's to see what the coverage is from VCN or whether it's to see the quality of the roads that are in RGT and the quality of the events, then get it shared out. And really appreciate any efforts that you do make on our behalf to do that. We can't get the race links shared out to everybody, and the riders and the event organisers really appreciate it as well, because it popularises their events as people looking for them. So we come now with Rapper with 50 metres. It's closed down now, 20 metres left to go. Isidore is making a last dash, but it's too late. Isidore clear, third place, as Rapper came over in second. Isidore there beats Wuta over the line in this race. Wuta's now comfortably in fourth position with Timo Ackenbach 200 metres further down the road from him. Wuta opens up a sprint for the line now. He's up at 10.5 watts per kilogram. A little bit of show for the guys at home. Sutrol Auto Adish. No idea what that means. It's Timo Ackenbach now coming up with 150 metres left to go. Jay Stevens, the only rider close to him, and there's a gap there of 90 metres. I doubt that Stevens is going to be able to sprint and close that down. Timo Ackenbach has only got 80 metres left to go to the line. See where there's a sprint here to the finish line as well. Wuta just congratulating everybody on a great race. Timo comes over the line and starts spinning the legs, clear out all that lactic acid. Stevens coming up in fifth. He's putting in an effort now as he comes towards the line, only 30 metres left to go, 5.7 watts per kilogram, still got a little bit left in the tank. He comes over the line in 50 minutes and 34 seconds. Francois, you must see the threat behind you, Francois. I hope you're still listening. You've got Lorenz Simons closing you down, and he is pushing hard. Oh, this is going to be an interesting finish now. Francois, have you got anything left in the tank? This may be the time to use it. Simons pushing on, overtaking Francois. Francois not responding yet. Simons carries on pushing at 6 watts per kilogram. Francois now putting in the effort, 6.9 watts per kilogram. Simons not giving up the position that easily. He's going into the deep red zone. He's pushing hard, 7.9 watts per kilogram. Oh, and he's just overtaken, just held off Francois to the line. That was tight for the finish there between Francois Heroica and Lorenz Simons. And that finish being important to Simons there, it pushes him up in the tables, keeps him above Francois Heroica, as we're back with Matt Hammond now coming around this corner. Matt Hammond pushing hard now. He's got 430 metres left to go. Ben Lilburn's not too far behind him, but Ben is pushing out a little bit more watts per kilogram than Matt here, but I don't think he's going to be able to close that gap of 150 metres before he gets to the finish line. Francois congratulating some of the riders there on getting sub 50 times on the Stelvio. And we come past the final of the hairpins. Matt Hammond now looking out at the finish line. Francois said, back to you, Riley. He's put Spotify on hold now to listen to the commentary again as Hammond is coming up with a 6 watt per kilogram effort to the finish line. You should have been listening as I was commentating there, Francois, and you may have known that Simons was on your wheel and how close it was. You may have just made your effort a little bit sooner. As Hammond comes up now to take 9th position and his effort all the way to the line. It's great to see. There's Ben Lilburn now. Heroica is seeing Ben in the distance and has been putting in a little bit of an effort there to close him down. A gap of 50 metres. I don't think he's going to manage it as Ben's keeping fairly steady at 4.7 watts per kilogram there. But I might close that gap down a little bit. As Ben is going to come over the line in just over 54 minutes. Fantastic time for this sort of elevation. Heroica there. All in yellow TFC kit. Yellow, I think it's the Evoque Hyperion bike. Comes over the line in a time of 54 minutes and 30 seconds there. Just came over the line. It's Herrera now with Ewan Lamont just behind him. Ben Lilburn commenting, oof there. I think that's fair comment. It is not an easy course to race, this one at all. Very challenging. I think I've only raced the Stelvio once and it wasn't a pretty sign. It was a quivering wreck after I'd finished the race. It's Herrera now. It's keeping the effort on. Only 35 metres left to Lamont. And Lamont is in steady effort. He's now we've got 760 metres left to go to the line here for Herrera. Herrera is still pushing out 5 watts per kilogram now. Doubtful that Lamont is going to be able to overhaul this. Around hairpin number 4. Herrera could be going a bit too deep now. Get up in the bright red section. Around hairpin number 3. Metres away from the finish line for Herrera now. Lamont still gaps. The gaps increased slightly now. 90 metres now, 56. So Herrera pushing on. As I say, guys, I've looked at it a few times. We are covering the 24-hour endurance event over on Borrego. I'd love for some of you to hop over and watch that stream as well. I will be doing some brief commentary when we enter back into the stream, catching in with some of the riders that are to do the 24-hour event, the whole 24 hours, and then we'll just be leaving the stream to run. Following the progress of Rob Stone through most of the night. Herrera now, 300 metres left to go. Shy is coming up to the last hairpin. Heart rate of 176 there. There have been a couple of things come up recently on the users group on Facebook, the RGT users group on Facebook, about cheating in RGT. It is something that's possible in all of the virtual platforms, and for some reason it seems to be something that's kind of accepted in a way, but isn't something that we really want to be letting go. We want to let it slide. So one of the things that is recommended is you are racing. You see Herrera here pushing in a fantastic effort. He saw Lamont was closing him down slightly, and he's just gone bang. Let's have it for the last few meters. Heart rate up at 190, power of 220 as he comes over the line to secure that 12th position. And Lamont in 13th position now. He was just sneakily closing that gap in on Herrera. Pushing out 300 watts here. Up to the finish line. 22 meters left. A little wave for the camera. Hi, Ewan. And Svert here. So this is a little example of what I was going to go on to say a moment ago, is that the riders there, Herrera and Lamont, they had heart rate monitors on, and you could see that as their power increased and they were putting in those efforts towards the end there, Lamont to try and close the gap on Herrera, and Herrera to try and keep away from Lamont. You can see their heart rates climbing, and Herrera for a moment there was topping out at 190. And whilst it's not the be all and end all, it is easy to see in those sort of instances that it is a human making an effort and not somebody applying a drill to the back wheel, right? Which is, it's sad to think, but there are some people out there who do that to win a race. So not saying that people without heart rate monitors are cheats. That's not a comment that I'm making at all. I'm trying to say is that if you have a heart rate monitor, it's easier for people to see that you're putting in the effort when you are putting in the effort, and it'll reduce any question marks around the efforts that you're making. There have been a couple of instances where people have had to, not had to, but people have been asked to sort of prove that they can perform as they do. So they've provided oftentimes Strava results from races that they've been in or rides that they've done, sort of justify and back up the results that they've provided virtually. There is also, if anyone is interested in taking a little step further, there is the eBio passport, which is dead easy to sign up for. You'll find information on rgtdb.co.uk. Sorry, rgtdb.com.co.uk will get you there as well. Which the eBio passport, you can sign into that. You can do a weigh-in video, and there's details on how to do a weigh-in video floating about on the YouTube, and you can provide information through the eBio passport, like Strava results, etc., that sort of indication of what sort of cars you're providing. Which again, if anyone does accuse you of cheating, is something that hopefully it won't come around. But if it does happen, you can quite easily say, don't bother me, go and have a look at my eBio passport. And when you've had a look at that, come back and then ask me questions. But I've not cheated. Here's some proof. Leave me alone. Svert comes up now, 14th position, and he has got 54 meters left to go, and he's putting in an effort now to close down on the line. He's not being challenged by anyone. Skudlarek is at 850 meters further down the hill. But Swartz still putting in the effort to finish this race. We see Skudlarek and Ross Collins here, and not too far behind them we've got Sargiani, and then just behind Sargiani we've got Smith-Roux. We've got a few riders here all closely grouped together. Ross just commenting that you can see the finish. Might be a few hairpins away though, but you can probably see it. As Sargiani is putting in some efforts now to close these two riders down in front of him. You can see them. They are the rabbits as the hare he's going to chase, and we'll see whether he's going to be able to close them down. There's Ross and Marcin Skudlarek there, just coming around that hairpin. This is the kicker of a hairpin there. Checking back on Sargiani there. Skudlarek is And a little bit of an effort. He's not riding with his teammate. He's just riding for himself. Keeping him company. But I don't think he wants to tow him to the line. He's coming back up on hairpin number 2. Goes up to 10%. A little bit of a steeper section now. Road doesn't flatten off that quickly. Ross Collins, Scudera. I don't think Sargiani's going to close them down as we've only got 440 metres of this race left to go. A little bit less for Marcin as he's in front. And you see the gap there just starting to open up between Marcin Scudera and Ross Collins. Take the helicopter out to the side of this mountain. See the finish line up there. The gap continuing to open up to Scudera right there. And Sargiani not quite closing it down. 50 metres to go. It's Marcin just seeming to get the right tempo there at that section and just opening up. More of a lead over Ross Collins. 35 metres. He goes round the last hairpin. Ross is easy slightly there, allows Sargiani to come back to him. Sargiani is closing that gap down. It's only 30 metres now. Ross comes around that hairpin. Sargiani, see Ross within breathing distance now. He's fighting hard to get back to that wheel as Ross opens up his power now. He's gone up 6.97 watts per kilogram. Marcin, seeing that Ross is fighting hard behind him, he's opening up as well. He's opening up his sprint. He's going up 5.6 watts per kilogram there. Ross Collins, fantastic riding here at the end of the race. 60 metres left to go for Ross. Is he going to overhaul Marcin? No, Marcin just holds it off. He's got a sprint left in him. And Ross eases off as he's distanced Sargiani. Ross Collins coming over the line there. Just creeping over the line. Spent Sargiani. It looked like he was reeling in Ross there, but he just wasn't able to anticipate that last little bit of power that Ross had held in the tank. Sargiani comes over the line in just over an hour and 5 minutes. Smitheroo, 18th position. He's got 230 metres left to go. Istwith behind him, but he's quite a way clear of Istwith there. Istwith very much in the distance, just come around the last hairpin. Smitheroo is on the final straight. And he's just taking it easy now, relaxing, enjoying the view. We're just phoning his mum. I've not got long to go, only 160 metres. See there, I think that's Istwith, the next rider up down the road. Fantastic what you can do with RGT in the spectate mode. You can have a look around these roads. Different angles you can get. See those Lassay down there. Down the mountainside there. It's like someone's got some licorice string, silly string and fired at a big mountain. Smitheroo now, only 27 metres left to go. He's come through that last hairpin and just took it easy. And just a little bit too easy on this last little section there. Just creeps over the line in an hour and 7 minutes. Istwith. Istwith CC. Not sure if that's Istwith Cycling Club or it's his name, Istwith, and he's pushing out at 3.2 watts per kilogram. very shortly I am going to have to leave the remaining riders on the road. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to head back over to coverage of the Borrego 24 event. I normally like to see all the riders home, but got to do a check-in with the Borrego Springs endurance race, and then as I've been a fairly busy boy today on the commentary, I'm going to have to go back and spend some time with the family. You know, it's easy to believe that I don't have a family when I spend this much time on or around RGT, but they do occasionally like to see me. See Ian Hurst now, 20th position. Presuming that Ian's using this as a recon for the Thursday night PRT race. I'm expecting to see him there. He's had some fantastic results recently, and we are doing the Steely Stelvio in the PRT handicap race. For those who aren't aware, the handicap race is run by Will Usher of PRT Precision Race Team. He does precision coaching and precision rewards as well. And on the handicap race, the weight that you carry in the race is worked out on your recent FTP. So you take your FTP, divide it by 3.2, and that gives you your weight for the event. You enter that weight into RGT, and then you ride the PRT handicap race with that handicap. Now, if you've got a high FTP, that means you carry more weight. A lot of the guys who are racing towards the front end of the race, they're carrying 20 kilograms at the moment. Around that, it's kind of like if you think about carrying an entire sack of potatoes on your bike whilst you're racing up a mountain. That's what it's like for those guys. So unsurprisingly, it slows them down. There's some of the other guys who are not perhaps able to race as frequently and not able to train as frequently. Hey Ian. They are generally carrying a weight benefit, so their weight reduces. And what this does is it means that the elite athletes and the less elite athletes can all compete together on a fairly even playing field. The handicap races keep a lot of riders entertained because they're not just watching elite athletes rush off into the distance and then having their own individual time trial. They are up there in the mix, and Ian has been having some fantastic results over the last couple of weeks, and it's been really great to see. Comes up to the finish line in just over an hour. He's only got 97 meters of this race left to go. And I'm presuming that Ian is watching the live stream or listening at least. Otherwise, he's just got some sweat dropped onto the remote app, hitting the wave button constantly. Ian Hurst races with Team 3R. As I say, there's lots of teams around the RGT platform. Lots of events being organised by all of these teams. At the moment, as Ian comes over the line, 1 hour, 11 minutes and 21 seconds. Drop back with Shane. Great riding from Ian again. As I say, I'm presuming that this is a recon for the PRT event. Shane's been taking part in some of these PRT events as well. It'd be great to see him over there as well. We've got 60 metres left for Shane, and then we'll check in with Swank and Chalka. As I say, unfortunately, after that we are going to have to skip off and head over to the Borrego Springs, and I hope some of you guys come over there with us. I'm sure some of these riders will be down there having their cool down. Shane comes over the line, hour 11 minutes 57 seconds. Swank, 22nd possession. Now 2.1 watts per kilogram. He's got 700 meters left of this race to go. And then not too much further down the road. Pachalka, just see Pachalka on the hairpins a bit lower down. Swank wearing the OTR colours there, OTR shirt. Many of the teams on RGT have their own kits into the platform now. Chalka's just coming around this hairpin. Pushing out 3.1 watts per kilogram coming around there. And just pushing on this 12.5% gradient. Keep on riding, Chalka. So really sorry to these guys. Would normally watch these guys home, but just pushed for time this evening. I am going to switch back to Swank briefly. 500 meters to go. I'm just going to hang on for Swank to come over the line. And I am going to have to shoot off as Swank comes around with 190 meters left to go. These hairpins just taking out of the legs after you've done this race. You're getting down to hairpin number 2 there, and each one of these steep gradients just kicks you, forces your legs, your body, and you're just punishing. So I think there's 48 hairpins on this course. Each one offers a changing gradient, which often means that you end up changing gear, and very often, even if you don't change gear, it means that you're changing tempo. Your legs have to move to a different rhythm, and that can be very difficult. Swung now, coming up on the final hairpin of this circuit. Pushing hard as the gradient goes out 10, pushes up to 13% on that hairpin, drops down again, and then immediately pushes back up again to around about 11, 12, 13% all the time. Playing with your tempo. Swank now, not too long to go to get to the finish line, 120 meters. Pushing out 300 watts there. The finish line, the distance, giving him a second wind. Watts, 50 meters left to go, 10% gradient. And that Swank home over the line. Put the camera back on Pachalka. So unfortunately, just pressed for time tonight. I'd love to see you get home, Pachalka, but I need to switch around with the camera views. I'll leave the camera on you while I'm making some changes to the software. And it's been fantastic covering this event. Hope to be covering some more of the Tuesday night events for Moon Riders as the series continues. Tuesday night's a little bit busy night for me, so not always able to cover them, but do my best to try and support the Moon Riders guys. And hope to see you again soon. As I say, if you can, if you like and subscribe, if you're on the Facebook page or the YouTube or even on Twitch, we're going out to all the social media platforms. And if you can, if you make the effort, if you can, share those links out so we get some more viewers who can have a look at the RGT platform and have a look at what recycling news are doing around the RGT world. We're nearly ready to go with the Borrego 24-hour. Van managed to make those changes in the background, and so we've come back to watch Pichalka cross the line. Got an hour, 20 seconds on the clock. Pichalka's still pinning the effort, he's putting out 3.7 watts per kilogram, 3.9 now. See the finish line in the distance, and emptying the tank on everything he's got to make it to this finish line. He's going into his deep red power zone there. $70 meters left remaining, pushing a steady 4.1 watts per kilogram. Keep on cranking out. Fantastic to see from Pichalka. And he comes over the line in 1 hour, 21 minutes and about 5 seconds there. Fantastic.